Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going through my wish list. I know I've been on the track about purse piece for a little bit now, and I just want to remind you that purse piece is not necessarily about never buying anything again. What I'm more so trying to convey with the idea of purse piece is just being happy and settled and able to enjoy the items in your wardrobe without needing to have the next newest better thing. While I do feel like I'm at purse piece, I do also think that there will be more bags out there on my horizon. I've already bought one and there's still going to be things out there that I do like and enjoy. Part of this process and really understanding what I have in my wardrobe and how it's suiting me, and whether or not anything else should be added, is going through my wish list very carefully to see what on it is still serving me and if it's still something that I want to contemplate adding potentially if the right thing comes along. So hopefully this will be helpful or useful to any of you guys. We're going to go through my wish list, and so this is my current wish list as well as an update on some of the items in wish list pass. A lot of things that I've spoken about and just sort of like how I still feel about them, if they're still on the table or not, and I hope you guys enjoy. So if you're new here, my name is Katherine. My channel is KWSHOPS, and I work in the luxury resale industry. I have for a very, very long time, so I've seen the ins and outs and ups and downs, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the pre-love market, and I am here to give you guys information and tips all about it. I do bag reviews, I do videos about authentication a lot of the time, and if any of that is interesting to you, then please don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started. So to start, this is going to be a little bit of a reveal. This is one thing that has been on my wish list for a year from the moment I saw it. So this wish list item is the Hermes Hinged bracelet. This is an enamel bracelet. Similar items along this line are the click H's and the click clacks. This is a relatively newer style. There's not so many of them out there on the market, but the moment I saw it for the first time, I fell in love. I've had these on my alert list for all of my favorite pre-love websites forever, and I hadn't exactly found the right one in the right color or the right print, and I'm obsessed. So this I have in a size small. It's black enamel. These are gold plated. If you'd like to see full detailed review on this bracelet, then let me know. I can definitely put something together. But first item up on the wish list, we bought it. Okay, now one new recent addition to my wish list is the Leve Raffia shopper tote. I've been seeing a lot of these around Miami, and it does help that I live in a very like beachy tropical climate that where something like this I could wear all year round. I really like the size and the style of this. I think it looks really like boho while still looking elevated in luxury. That's kind of a tightrope to walk, so I think that the Leve one does it very, very well. Most of the leathers you see them are neutral. I would actually want to find something white leather with the Raffia combination. I think it's just beautiful, really understated, and I think I would be able to make really great use of that in my wardrobe. Also, the price point does not hurt. Okay, so this is one item I've had on my wish list for years. We're going to talk about the Dior Trump Montaigne. Or Montaigne 30. Crossing this one off, I loved and lusted and wanted this bag forever. Probably about, I would say, at least 2 years, certainly since I saw it for the first time and when it came out. And I think that I have moved on from this piece. It's not to say that there's anything about it that's changed or anything that I love less about it. I just feel like, first and foremost, I think that the slot for that bag has been replaced in my collection with my Fendi 3 baguette. Now, they're not one-to-one dead ringers, but I do think that this sort of conveys enough of the look and style of the Montaigne 30 so that I wouldn't be able to necessarily justify having a second one. Perhaps if one day I were to find a good deal on one in white, that's another thing. I really have a white bag on my handbag wish list, and I'm trying to get myself away from it, but I'm so drawn to white bags in this moment. Moving on. But to have one in a white, or if they were to do a really cool print on this bag in some of the leathers, maybe I would consider it. But for now, I think I'm crossing this one off the wish list for good. That's really interesting considering how long I wanted and lusted after the Dior Montaigne 30. But sometimes you randomly will just find something else you will come across something else that just takes its place. And I think the Fendi 3 Baguette has done that. It certainly qualifies as a great look for less on that bag. And to be very honest, this bag has taken a lot of slots. I find it so incredibly versatile. I have spoken about this a lot in the past couple of months, and I'll have some more linked down below. I see them popping up on the pre-love market a little bit more, but they're awesome. And for more details, I'll leave some info in the description box. Be sure to check it out. Okay, next new addition to my wish list is the Chanel Rodeo Drive flap bag. This is sort of like a hobo style, and I do find it to be a little bit weird, but if you'll notice, most of the bags in my wardrobe have something like a little bit different or off to them. It's kind of something that I like, but we got this one in at work not too long ago, and I completely fell in love with it. I really like the size, I really like the shape. I contemplated, you see that it has the CCs sewn into the top flap, and it has a back zippered pocket, but it has this really cool chain detail that's very different from Chanel. It's not something that I think I've really seen a lot of from their lines, but if you take that chain strap or to find a long crossbody chain to add to it, I think that that look kind of does a lot to mix in some of the more modern, some of the more contemporary chunky chain looks. I think it looks great as a clutch. I really, really love this bag. I've been able to find great deals on them, particularly at Rebag, to have more of them come up than other sites for some reason. So it's definitely one to check out, but adding a chain strap to that bag, I think, completely makes it. My only drawback, though, is I hope you're gonna be able to see this in the photos that I find, but when you see it in person, like, it sort of looks like it has little arms coming out of it when you carry it on the chain strap, and it is a little weird shaped, but I still think it's kind of cool. There's something that just intrigues the heck out of me when it comes to that bag, and I have been obsessed. Okay, so next up, you guys know I have always had a love for the Speedy B35 in Damier Ebene. It's one of those classics that I never bought. After all these years, I don't find that a Speedy is necessarily missing in my collection. You guys may remember I did have a classic one for a very long time, and I ended up selling it a few years ago, but I think perhaps like maybe the Speedy isn't my vibe anymore, and even though it is a classic, it is a staple, I think for mine, I've kind of moved past that idea. I have a lot of top handle totes. Top handle totes with removable straps are kind of my jam. I'm looking at my bag shelf right now, and I think I have 5 of them, including one of my last purchases, which is this Gucci Bee Tote. So I think we're good on the idea of a top handle large crossbody, and certainly to the smaller sizes, I think that I could find something better, and that actually is going to bring me on to my next pick. So I've spoken before about the Louis Vuitton Pallas bag in the standard or medium size or whatever it was, and that one I can definitively say has been crossed off of the wish list. After finally seeing a couple of them in person and also seeing what they look like as they age and wear over time, obviously that depends on how well the bags are cared for, but it is definitely good to see what they look like when they're not in good condition, just so you kind of get an idea of what you can hope to expect. So while I can definitively say the large size becomes a bit too slouchy, and I think that the shape of it sort of conveys like what a structured bag, and then when you look on the sides, it's folded, and it kind of like, it's folded, but it's like not pleated. I hope that makes sense. It just gets kind of schlumpy on the sides if when you finally do put your stuff in it and go to carry it and everything like that. However, there is the BB size, and I love it. I think that could be a good replacement if maybe you are into the idea of a Speedy B25. I think that the Pallas BB is a great supplement for that if you want something just a little bit different. They make them in pops of color, they make them in the monogram in black, and I think that it's such a great buy. I definitely would add one into my collection. Now, I really do like this in the monogram in black. but maybe for me it's a little bit too similar to my mini Antigona. So if I were to find a cute one in like a color that wasn't red, they make a lot of them in red. I don't wear a ton of red. Then maybe so. Like for example, they made the large one in the color pistache, and even though I don't wear a lot of that color either, I really just find it beautiful. I think it's a great combination. So I have my eye out for like a really nice color combo of the Pallas BB. But the standard classic medium size, I think we're done here. So another new addition to my wish list is the Saint Laurent Jamie bag. You guys know that I spent the last 2 years gushing about the Lou camera bag. I still think it is incredible. Every time I see them, I love it, but I just don't think I need one. But I have ranted and raved and sung the praises of YSL for a very long time. The Jamie bag, I think, is would be a great addition to any collection. The Jamie is a bit similar to the Chanel Rodeo Drive that I mentioned earlier, but overall, I just think it is just really nice and casual. You can dress it up or down. It looks like it's somewhat not structured, kind of like puffy in a way, kind of like the Lulu and all of those things that are trying to happen now, except that it looks like it just holds its shape, or it's like sewn in, so it's going to be a little bit more, it's just going to keep that rectangular boxy shape a little bit more. So I think, once again, it does the contemporary stylish thing while also being classic. I love the size. For me, that is the ideal size for a going out bag because I'm a pack rat, and I like that it can be worn doubled or singled, so shoulder or crossbody. There's a lot that you can do with this bag. It looks like it comes in 2 different sizes, and I just think it's a great buy. Once again, I am no stranger to a Saint Laurent bag. I am still in awe of the fact that I do not have a Saint Laurent bag in my wardrobe. I genuinely have no explanation for that. And now finally, we are going to talk about the Chanel Classic Flap. I think that my time is done for a Chanel flap. I think that I just engage with them too often, and I think that they've sort of lost their allure to me. Now, I've spoken about this since the beginning of my channel, that the ultimate bag for me was a single flap maxi caviar with silver hardware. That's the bag that I wanted forever, and I still definitely do love that bag. I appreciate that bag, but I think I'm over the Chanel Classic Flap for this time. We don't have to get into the whole drama about the price increases and just how they're trying to, I feel like they're trying to exclude like up and coming consumers from purchasing, and that really rubs my soul the wrong way. That is something probably to be said for most luxury fashion houses, and I don't know, I just feel like I engage with them too much. I think that they're oversaturated to me personally because of the work that I actually do on a day-to-day basis. I do think if I were to ever add a classic flap of any kind, it would be something like in a seasonal color or pattern or print or something like that, just something different and cool. But as far as, you know, having the black caviar, I think I'm past that, and I just don't think that I would necessarily benefit from having one in my wardrobe anymore, and that is really a lot to say considering how much I loved that bag and how much I like pined after it. And honestly, I think that part of the price increase making it that much more attainable, it really made me think about how much more I was willing to like exert in order to get one, and I just made that calculation that ultimately I don't want it that much. That's certainly one way to view price increases. I do think I wouldn't necessarily say that, you know, Chanel is overpriced. It definitely has reached a price that I am not comfortable paying for anything, but maybe one day that will change. I'm not entirely sure, but what I can say is that the love and shock and awe that I had for the maxi flap has diminished over time. Like now I kind of feel, I almost am to the place where I feel the same way about them that I do about Birkins, and will say, you guys can probably attest to this, but when you engage and interact with something on a daily basis for 40 or 50 hours a week, that really tests your love and lust for it. I'm very grateful that I do actually get to interact with these things in a professional capacity, and that's how I know that I don't love them anymore. So the last item I'm going to talk about is the Valentino V Logo or Super V. I can't exactly determine what the name of the specific one that I like is, but I will have it pictured here. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. This is another bag that I just think is so beautiful and stunning. I really like the chunky gold hardware. I like that it comes in a smaller size. It comes in 2 sizes that I've seen, the crossbody flap one. Both of them I think would fit really well into my wardrobe. I really am into what Valentino is doing at the moment. I can't get enough of the V Logo line, and I would get the shoes, I would get the belt, I would get the bag, etc. Like, I do actually find the bag on sale on Gilt a lot of the time, so maybe one day one of those will come through at the right time. But ultimately that's one that I don't think necessarily like that's going to be like a hot it bag, but it is something that sort of looks and feels like me. But once again, my only drawback with this bag is that I would want it, the one that I gravitate towards the most is the black one, but this once again kind of fills the need for it. And all that leaves is the blush color. They make a red. Those are 2 colors that definitely don't work in my wardrobe. There's the white one. You guys know how much I am really trying to actively stop myself from buying a white bag because I know better. The white is gorgeous. I just don't know that that would be right for me, even though I love it. And I haven't seen a colorway necessarily that speaks to me other than the black, and the black is just something I just don't feel like I need. But overall, 5 out of 5 stars. I love that bag. I love that bag. I love it. I love it. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this wish list. I did it a little bit differently. It's not just about 2021. I like to really go back into the archives of fashion. There are so many years worth of collections and seasons of great stuff out there, and it's really literally at our fingertips. So I'm going to link everything that I spoke about down below in the description box. If you have anything that you have taken off of your wish list lately, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!